Are you looking for affordable North Carolina land near the water? Well, today I'm going to show you our 0.69 acres in Pamlico County, North Carolina that does come with owner financing. So I will share the details of owner financing later, but first, let's talk about the property itself. So first of all, my company is Gokche Capital. You can find all my properties at land.gocap.com. And on that website, you can see a map with all of the available lots. This is an interactive map, so you can zoom in and out to see a particular area. And we do have a number of properties in North Carolina. Hi, Judith. Good to see you again. So if this particular property doesn't interest you, you can take a look at the other properties we do have in North Carolina. And if we zoom down to the table, this property is number 705. You didn't show me which sound is which. I'm going to have to get that. So we're looking at property 705, Pamlico 4. Now, I just want to say up front, because there has been some confusion on this, this number here, 705, is our own internal numbering system. It has nothing to do with the lot number or the legal description, so don't use this number when calling the county. However, you can find the property on our website by going to 705. All right, so let's take a closer look at the lot. Better late than never, right? So let's start with the location. Now, we are in southern North Carolina, not too far from the coast, and we are actually off of the Pamlico Sound. Here's the Pamlico Sound. Actually, we are right on the coast. Kind of on the coast, I guess, if you consider Pamlico Sound the coast. So this is the News River just off of the Pamlico Sound, and there is a creek that is to the back of the subdivision, Dawson Creek. Not the Dawson Creek from that 90s or 2000 teen drama, but it does mean that this community is a waterfront community. The lot itself does not have waterfront, but there is a private boat dock that is for use by all property owners in this subdivision. And actually, you do get deeded rights to one of the boat slips on this private dock. So now, as you can see here, this is a well-maintained subdivision. You'll actually see that from the drone footage in a second. There are a number of homes that have been built here, but it is still fairly spread out, so you will get some privacy. And this is, I would say, a community that's ideal for someone who is retiring or perhaps works remotely, has a family, and would like to move somewhere that's a little more rural, close to a lot of outdoor recreation like Dawson Creek. If you're into boating, you have that boat slip as well. If we zoom out again, you'll see that there's a national forest nearby, a wildlife refuge, game lands, and then the seashore over here. So a lot of natural recreation in the nearby vicinity. And in terms of towns and amenities, Arapahoe is about, I think, 10, 15 minutes from the lot. That's a small town. There is a health clinic, I believe I looked it up here in Grantsboro. And then the closest town of a larger size is Newborn, which is about 25 minutes away. Oh, you did watch it, Judith. That's funny. The town of Newborn, I think it's about half an hour away. And there you have an actual hospital as well as more major amenities too. So you're not completely out in the middle of nowhere here, but you do get more privacy. There's a lot more just open land, open space. You have the water nearby. So if you're looking for that more quiet, rural, natural feel, but you still want to be in a well-maintained, secure community, this would be a lot for you. All right, so let's take a look. Of course, on the flip side, should say this is in an HOA. So if that's not your thing, hit the air horn noise. But you got to come back and hit the air horn because I didn't see which one it was. Or I could just press all of these and see which. I got it. There we go. Zaphael's in the house. Okay. So let's take a look at the drone footage. Now, this is, as I said, this is a very well-maintained subdivision. You can see from the photos that all of the vacant lots in the area are kept mowed and in very good condition. The homes that have been built are also very nice. They're on the larger side. Pretty construction. Just to be upfront though, the reason all these vacant lots are mowed is because it is a requirement and you do pay for that. So something to keep in mind, if you're buying this and you're not going to build on it right away, you will have to keep the lawn mowed. But the HOA can supply you with the name of some people who will just go out on their regular required, I think it's every 2 months. I'd have to go back and check that. And it's not that much, maybe $50 or so. That rate might go up over time, but it is something to keep in mind when you buy a lot here. Okay, so you can see nice homes in the area, but still very green and very rural in feel. And we can take a look at the drone footage here as well. Now we do start all of our drone videos with the Matterport scan. Yeah, I believe so. That's a part of what comes with an HOA, plus and minuses there. On the one hand, if you really do want the community to be kept at a certain kind of aesthetic, HOAs are really good at ensuring there's not going to be any junk or anything like that. But a lot of people want a little more control over what they can and can't do on their property. And, I understand that. But so yeah, you can see from the drone footage that it is very well maintained. The community still pretty spread out. So you have a little more privacy. Nice large homes in the area. Very green nearby. Yeah, very nice drone footage. When my partner saw this drone footage, he fell in love with this area. It's a very pretty spot. It's I think one of the prettiest lots we have. Right. So the annual taxes, though, despite it being so nice, are only about $93. Oh, I can pull up the estimate for some of those homes. We can look at those later. There's no zoning at the county level, according to our research, but of course the property is in the Shine Landing HOA, so there are going to be rules, as we were talking about. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Judith. We try. I know it's really important for people to visualize the property. Not everyone can go visit in person. So we try to make it approximate what it's like to go visit the property. So yeah, but just, being upfront, because this is in an HOA, there are some conditions and restrictions. So we can take a quick look at some of them, but we do have the link to the full CCRs on our listing page. So you can pull those up and look at them at any time. But the main gist of it is that these are residential lots, so they're for single family homes. These are going to be stick-built homes, so this would not be a mobile home lot. That's another thing to keep in mind. You could see what the homes that have been built looked like in the area. So detached, single-family, stick-built house. And that's the main gist of these restrictions. They have some things like setbacks that kind of approximate normal zoning requirements. And they do have a requirement that you keep the lot free of rubbish and junk and all of that. And see there, no rubbish or debris. And yeah, some other things you might want to look through, but those are the main aspects of the CCRs. Just if you're going to remove any trees, you have to run that by the HOA as well. So you can read through all those CCRs. The link is here on the listing page. Now, according to our research, there is electricity in the subdivision and public water. So those utilities should be available for hookup if you did want to build. But for sewer, you would need a septic system. And we did have a perk test done on this lot. Just for some background, a perk test is a test that measures the rate at which water filtrates or moves through the soil. And most counties will require this before they issue a septic permit because septic systems require, or they rely on soil for filtration for the final stage of cleaning wastewater. So you want to make sure that the soil is able to move water at a sufficient rate to ensure that you're not getting, not so clean water and waste backing up. And we did have a soil scientist go out, and they did find that the property is suitable for an on-site wastewater disposal system, which is good news because Pamlico County in particular can sometimes be tricky for perking. But according to our soil scientists, you shouldn't have a problem on this lot. The lot can support a 2 to 4 bedroom house. So that's good to know. And we can provide a copy of this letter if you would like. All right. And I will also pull this property up in Land ID just so we can go through some of the basic due diligence checks we do at the initial stages, the online due diligence checks that we do in the initial stages before we buy a property. So here's the lot. It is on Southern Way. And we can save the boundary. Okay, so some of the main things you want to look at, there are no conservation easements, of course. This is a very flat area. It's coastal North Carolina, so that's to be expected. Very flat, no real change in elevation based on the contour lines. Yeah, you can place stinky puddles. Yeah, you definitely want that wastewater to move through the soil. And there is actually no special hazard flood zone mapped on this lot, even though it is right near the water, which is, again, a very good thing, particularly in this area. You have a lot of special hazard flood zones. There are also no wetlands on the lot. So there are some wetlands in the nearby vicinity, but not on the property itself. Also a very good thing because it's very hard to build on wetlands. So overall, this would be a strong building lot. A number of people have built in this subdivision. We can also look at quickly just Zillow, the estimates for the homes in the area in case you were interested in building. So let's look at Arapahoe, and then we'll remove the boundary we're in here. These are lots. These are everything. Let's just look at houses. Yeah, the other nice thing about being outside of a special hazard flood zone, aside from potential lower risk of flooding, is that if you do have to take out a loan to build a house, the lender will most likely not require flood insurance. So that's nice. Overall, home insurance might also be lower. So for example, the estimates of homes in the subdivision are around 400K, 400 to 500K. So homes do hold pretty good value in this area if you were thinking of building. All right, so let's move on to price. And I did say earlier that we do offer owner financing, so I'll cover those terms as well. At the moment, we do have this lot priced at $19,997 plus the dock fee. And we do offer owner financing. So we don't have set owner financing terms. We like to tailor our terms to meet the needs of every individual buyer. So if you would like to utilize owner financing, just reach out to us and let us know what kind of monthly payment and down payment will work with your budget, and we'll come up with terms that make the lot affordable for you. I just want to, flood insurance it's getting pricier too, I know. So I do want to be upfront with two terms. With owner financing, we do say no building on or living on the property until the end of the loan term, and that's for liability reasons. But you can use the property for recreational purposes as long as you are in compliance with all local rules and regulations. And we do often allow minor improvements, so things like fences, maybe a small shed, clearing a portion of the lot, generally anything that doesn't require a permit. So if there's something you'd like to do prior to paying off the loan, just let us know and we'll work with you on that. Finally, the other thing on this no building rule is that we don't have a prepayment penalty. So you can, if you did want to build, you can also pay off early at any time. And there's no fee, but that'll also actually save you on interest. In fact, it'll save you on interest, and if you pay off soon enough, we'll give you cash back for paying off. So you can scroll down here. You get 5% cash back if you pay off in the first 6 months and 2.5% cash back if you pay off in the first 12 months. So we try to reward you for paying off the loan early. And what a lot of people do who are looking to build is they'll go to a local bank, maybe a credit union, sometimes even like one of the larger banks, and get a construction loan and then use that to pay off this loan. Installation of well or septic or perhaps electrical. Generally, we would say no to installing the well and septic. For similar reasons, it becomes a liability because that starts to be a large improvement on the property. But, we look at these things on a individual case-by-case basis as well. Okay. And if you want to do your due diligence before you buy the lot, we do have an option to hold the property. This will take it off market to make sure that no one buys the property out from under you while you're doing your due diligence. And actually, there were some people who that happened to and got, they lost the property that they wanted, which is why we created this hold option, and a lot of people like it. It gives you that security so that you can call the county, go visit the lot, do the research you need to do before you go ahead and buy. And there's a whole automated process. If you want to hold it, you just click on this button, go through the automated process, and then the property's held for you. It's $2. I always do that. It's $50 for 2 days, and you can hold for up to 8 days. Of course, you can also call my team and go over any of your questions as well, either after you hold or before it. We're always happy to answer questions. I have a great team who's really knowledgeable about all of our properties. So that covers affordable financing, but we do know that there are a few other things that really help people be successful when they're purchasing properties. And another leg in the three-legged stool is flexibility. So with our owner financing, we offer a 365-day land exchange guarantee. What that means is in the first year of the loan, you are able to exchange the property one time. You do have to pay the dock fee again, but what this allows you to do is change your property for a new one if we have another property come into our inventory that meets your needs better. So this way you know that you will get the property that works best for you. Or also if in that first year you find something about this property that makes it not great for your intended uses, you can exchange it for another one in our inventory. So this gives you flexibility, ensures that you're able to, as I said, find the property that really meets your needs. Yeah. I don't know why I keep doing that slip. And on top of that, with all purchases, whether it's owner financing or cash, we do offer 9 free bonuses, our Freedom Bundle, designed to help you get set up successfully as a property owner. So this bundle includes monthly landowner Q&A calls with me, a complimentary vacation voucher, hotel savings card, and restaurant savings card to help offset the cost of visiting the property or a vacation just to celebrate. You do also have the option of requesting a 30-minute architectural consultation with me because I do have a background in architecture. And every purchase comes with our homesteading guide, building and zoning guide, and post-closing checklist, along with a neighbor lookup tutorial. So if your neighbors are also vacant properties, you can find the owner's address and send them a nice letter to introduce yourself. So all 9 of these bonuses come free with every purchase. You get them once the deed is recorded. So that's either upfront with cash purchase or at the end of the loan term with owner financing. And the total bonus value is $5,675. So I did say there were 3 things that we have found are very important for a successful land purchase. That was affordability, flexibility, and then also accessibility or availability. So if you haven't been to our YouTube channel, you can go there. It's Gokche Capital. You'll see that we are live every day at 2 p.m. Eastern. Should highlight up here. So if you want to come and chat about land, you can join any day at 2 p.m. Eastern. The nice thing about these live streams is that we do free property reviews. So if you have another property you're looking at and you'd like us to take a look at it for free, you can join, again, any day at 2 p.m. Eastern, or you can come and just look at interesting properties. So we review all kinds of properties. Most of them are, not properties we're selling or that we're affiliated with in any way. We just review them for educational purposes or to help people who are currently in the market for land and looking at properties. Of course, if you want any questions, specific questions answered about this property, you can give us a call or email us, text us, and we'll respond. As I said, I have a team who's very knowledgeable about all of our properties and very nice. So give us a call. We're always happy to chat and answer questions. So see you Sunday, Judith. Thank you for joining. So don't hesitate to reach out. Again, you can find all of our properties at land.gocap.com. And if you happen to have a property that you want to sell as well, you can go to gokchecapital.com or just give us a call, email us, join our live streams. We're happy to chat and answer your questions. So thank you for joining, and I hope you have a wonderful day.